I want to discuss architectural society in Two Virgins Pussy Wall, real estate. But first, I want to complain that I'm a deaf person, a senior and former library clerk who is completely deaf. This is not my responsibility. University of Washington has my parameter staked out as a location for an obsessive peep show regarding what they consider to be the meaning of honor and membership in an honors society. They are grossly negligent in providing academic and research support for a scholar who is clearly on the trail of something that is very important to the future of American education. This gross negligence repudiates in the field of architecture that I even have any ideas. They ignored that I was conversant and involved in productions with John Seitz at Carnegie Mellon University. They negated when I asked for a winter awning for a Chinatown store that was exposed to the cold. And they shooed aside my suggestion of investigation into longhouse villages for the homeless, improved by climate resilient shade structures, in favor of saying that I looked at porno, which is a topic because the corporations involved mongered an extermination genocide, Two Virgins, Pussy Wall War Game, and the AIDS attack, using the symbol of a C and a Star of David that proved to be overwhelmingly credible to the Seattle left promoting Donald Trump of all the mysterious things for them to be doing. So, to begin with, recall that the treble clef is EGBDF. Every good boy deserves favor, we're told to think of that as. Well, the bad boy rockers had a comeuppance about that. They believed every bad boy deserves favor. Much the same way if you've read my A History of Jaywalking, you will see that I made a case that jaywalkers was a term convoluted by the mindset of hot rodders, Confederate brawlers, revenge attackers, targeting jayhawkers. They're poor papas who had to walk to work because of their moralism. Poor teachers who can't do, so they teach. Bad boy rockers had a terrible cruelty, of course, and they gained espionage satisfaction in the city of Pittsburgh with the Zionist war machine that was built as an enemy within and scripted a torture of a little boy from the Pacific Fleet for revenge attack by Yoko Ono and Midori Goto that long predates their sob story of Lenin stepping out. So the bad boys had it in for authority. And what they mongered was a sad story of a deaf kid who was meant to be a swain, who was rejected chronically, suffering from two-timing tendencies, and who had jealousy and rejection hang-ups. They had an agent from Germany who was a Zionist from Germany who used to hum that nothing would torment Hitler more than to see Germany in the arms of his enemies. Every good boy deserves favor, of course, has a transcendent traditional lore that people do believe should be true. So they brought about a final judgment. Would your granny approve of you? Every good boy deserves favor except when they're jealous and crybaby. Well, what winemaker Gordon and Cyril Wecht knew was that Attica State Prison Psychiatry had discovered a nerve agent that artificially caused jealousy. Jealousy was not in my character. I bought the idea that you had to let go. It was just screamingly hard because I went into seizures from an invisible neuroplasm. Now, at Carnegie Mellon University, there's tendrils in the architectural department through Mellon funding and Pittsburgh Public Glass over to the north side, which used to be Allegheny City, where the Jehovah's Witnesses was founded. There, Milton Hall was built by the architect who also built Bidwell Presbyterian Church at 1025 Liverpool. 1025 is both my mother's birthday and Midori Goto's birthday. The idea of marital fidelity as a necessity for population control is built into this contraption. Milton Hall has a cluster of decapitated peace signs. So the notorious Pittsburgh community also included a man named Casper, which is a symbolic synthesis of Lenin and Hitler. Casper, the friendly fascist, who locked me in a house from the inside with Salk labor at Leslie Park. Leslie is a very significant human trafficking symbol from the Zionist crowd of Nosferatu who operating out of Mellon Bank. They also built Artec and the India Parliament. So you begin to see some of the architectural framework that Donald Trump and his minions put out in real estate as an opportunistic chessboard. Diamondoulos was identified outside the World Trade Centers with a stiletto. Cliff Robertson went above the World Trade Centers in a private plane to watch the attacks on 9/11. Anthrax did not come from the Middle East. And it was released that day. This is what Penis Gabriel would call a hidden pun. These people have tormented the psychology of the West by operating in broad daylight under the script name of Gail Burston. And we're supposed to go along with Frank Zappa's slogan for them. But you all love it, don't you? We do not love it. We do not love our schools being shot up and the people who are shooting them up being given all day, as in Uvalde, as in Gaza was given Uvalde machinery to, what I mean to say is the Zionists were given all day, all year and more to shoot up Gaza. We are dealing with the criminally insane, and we do not love it, do we? So Cliff Robertson was also stole the persona, which is very significant, of JFK for PT 109. He also was in the premiere episode of UFOs. The Outer Limits. Remember the old Outer Limits we watched on antenna TV sets? We now take control of your television set and then return it to you. This premiere episode was delayed for Kennedy's state funeral. So Cliff Robertson and Diamondoulos are part of a network that is bringing the house down on our heads. And every good boy deserves favor, except when they have abortions, like your grandson, Marie. Now, this whole idea comes from a bad boy rockers who were trafficking me as a child, who forced me into neurobedience while playing the anthems of the 60s about liberation. Women have to man up about their role in this if anybody's ever going to be able to stand before a judge and accuse Gail Burston and her contemporaries of plotting an insane genocide. And we talk about an endless war. We're ending an era of endless genocide. And we don't love it, do we? No, we don't. The architectural establishment has a place in ameliorating and mitigating climate change disasters, but only when we can get the research and execution funding, the money to build sustainable development rather than tear into each other with these dumb-headed war machines. We've come to an entanglement of sex, drugs, and martial law. It's getting to be so bad that people refuse to even allow politics to be discussed in the open. And we don't love it, do we?